I was sort of just asking about Jacob. He's kind of another player I'm sure that you would like to see shoot a little more, and so I asked him about the confidence that comes from a 2-goal game, and he said, yeah, it makes you start thinking about shooting a little bit more. So he had been getting chances, but how big is it for a player to get a couple goals like that?
I think when you think of players, no matter who they are, if they are able to generate or help on the score sheet, they always feel better about themselves. Like, they always look at points as that's how you create value for a team. But for us, he brings a lot more to our team in regards to the pace he plays at and the details that he brings to a game. So it's a good thing for him personally. I think it will help him confidence-wise, as you mentioned. But the key thing for us tonight is to make sure we see that pace and that competitive nature against a bigger hockey club.
He did say he's a shoot-first guy by nature, though, so I guess it is nice when you get that goal. Like, you're still going to create the plays and play your 200-foot game, but you may be a little bit more inclined if you see that opportunity to let the puck go.
Well, which is something that we want from everybody. Like, if you have an opportunity to shoot it. Like, that's, especially we've talked a little bit over the last little while about our first periods. We want to find a way to generate a little bit more in the first periods. Well, some of that comes down to just shooting the puck and going to the net hard and trying to find those rebounds. And Jacob is one of those players that I think when you look at the game last night, we haven't had a game where, let's call it our third line last night, was a difference offensively for us. So for me, that was maybe the biggest positive sign was we had a trio of guys that I thought were dangerous when they were on the ice, and that was a good sign for us.
You got a few goals from guys that you don't normally get goals from, like you said. What does that do for the rest of the bench?
Well, one, I think it takes a little bit of pressure off your top guys. Like Jonathan and Cads have been pretty consistent with generating for us. And sometimes there's a burden to that because they feel like in close games they have to do it every single night. When other guys are chipping in, like Matt's been chipping in, Vax is chipping in now, and last night's example, we had that line that was generating for us that was the difference in the game. I think it makes I don't want to say it makes their job easier, but it probably takes a little bit of that pressure off, feeling like they have to be the difference offensively every night.
You've been telling us for a while that Sharon Govic's game has been trending in the right direction. How good was it to see him get that monkey off his back last night, and could the floodgates open for him now?
Well, I hope so. It's funny, he was shorthanded too, right? When situations where you're not really expecting him to generate. But much like we talked about with Jacob, I think when you have a player that's an offensive guy and he's in a situation where the chances are coming and he's able to finish, he's going to feel better about his game. Our message to him is always, like, remember how you got those chances. I thought he was competitive last night. He was strong on the puck and he was moving his feet.
They say a win's a win, but looking at your last two wins, to me, very different games. You got the Kings, you got the Blackhawks. How differently do you have to play against different teams? The Kings are very structured, the Blackhawks maybe not so much.
I don't think you want to change your game. I think it comes down to preparing for what the players are going to see from the opponent. So some teams are a little bit more open, some teams are a little tighter and they take away the room on the ice. So it's nothing that will change our game. It's more about making the guys realize and recognize what they're going to see on any given night. So tonight, we're not anticipating there to be nearly as much room. I think it's going to be a very closely checked game, and we're going to have to work for every opportunity we get.
You guys have won now 4 of the last 5 on the road. Is that a big enough sample size to feel like the tide is turning for you on the road?
Not yet. Listen, it's a positive thing for sure. And even the stretch that we had where we weren't winning, there were things we were doing well. We just weren't getting results. We've had results lately, but to be a good team, you have to make it consistent. And if we're able to stretch this run out, and find a way to continue to play hard on the road, then I think that's when you can start thinking we maybe have turned the corner.